Hello and welcome back to Hanksy Panksy Honor Among Reeves, a podcast where two dumb idiot best friends put absconded with Tom Hanks, purloined Dwayne Johnson, and are about to be absolutely mugged by Keanu Reeves. I'm Sam Siegel and I'm stealing your horse.
Yeah, you take 1 week off and the intro just goes out the
Falls apart.
window.
It falls apart.
Yeah, I'm Luke Patrick. I'm the other dumb idiot. This week, Sam, I am froggy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, folks. My voice, it's better today than it has been in the last couple days, but I was very sick last Thursday. Today is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The process of being sick did steal my voice. So
Mm.
I sound awful. I feel amazing because I'm no longer sick,
How
but
low can you go?
pretty low
Can you
today.
get that low? And can you say big ass ham?
Big ass Sam.
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Hitting that, I can see the waveform and it's just fry register the whole way. So yeah, so I feel great, but yeah, I am a little muted today, and your sweet baby boy is napping, so I imagine you're gonna be kind of quiet as
Yeah,
well today.
he's napping down the hall.
Okay.
So, in I think a first for the show. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Also, I really quickly just want to address the elephant in the room, which is that
We're Republican now.
we're Republican now. We changed our release schedule, and Sam and I changed parties.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure. So I appreciate you folks rolling with the changes. I think this will be a healthy change for all of us, especially the Republican part.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're big stands of the GOP now.
We're getting in the pocket of the one remaining Koch brother.
He's the last man standing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So yeah, I just really appreciate everybody being chill about it. I know it sucks to not have your pals every week, but every other week, pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Because folks, we're tired.
Yeah.
We're really tired. Um, I could handle it before. I could, but with the job and the child, it's grueling.
Yeah.
And I know it doesn't like it feels stupid to complain. Sorry, I thought that was the kid waking up. It sounds stupid to complain about like I have to watch a movie every weekend and record for an hour every week, but like that stacks up, you know?
Yeah. I
Because I'm
mean,
working
like,
all week and then I can't pick what I watch on Friday nights anymore.
no, I mean, basically, so this week we did spoiler alert, John Wick 3,
John Wick Chapter
Parabellum.
3, Parabellum.
Parabellum.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 hours and 11 minutes gone, plus the hour and change it takes to record,
Mm-hmm.
which we have to schedule. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I got plans for today. I'm doing stuff.
I don't, but I have to feed my kid and he has to sleep.
That counts. That's
Oh, okay.
plans. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
you got stuff going on. We got stuff going on. So it's just, you got 3.5 years out of us of consistent weekly releases. Your boys need a break. So
Yeah, and maybe in another 3.5 years, we'll have the energy to go back to week.
yeah. Yeah. We're just playing in the space, man. We're
Yeah,
splashing around in the kiddie pool.
yeah. Though I gotta tell you, I said in another 3.5 years, and my soul left my body.
Here's the problem, and I want to get meta for a second.
Yeah,
This season, I mean, enough said, I
yeah.
think, but we did not expect Keanu Reeves, beloved A-list actor,
hmm
to be such a slog.
it has been a death march.
It
I gotta
really
tell you,
has.
like I never before have I thought like I could quit, but I gotta tell you, um, week after ever fucking loving week of good Keanu movie, bad Keanu movie, worse Keanu movie, okay Keanu movie, good Keanu movie, terrible movie.
Yeah.
It's made me want to hang up my microphone
Yeah. Throw the microphone in the bin.
and pack it in and say good enough.
Yeah. It's been so I don't know. We've got changes in the works
Mhm.
for I think by the time we hit the palate cleanser, we'll feel reinvigorated.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We are pretty close to the end,
Yes, which feels amazing.
and that is what's keeping me going. I
Yeah.
I will say when we made the decision to go every other week, I mentioned it to my wife, and she did make the good point of, but that'll just draw it out longer.
Yeah, it is a problem. Now we're looking at twice the time to finish out the
Yeah,
Keanu season.
and she's not wrong, but also it does mean every other weekend I don't have to look at his fucking mug anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah, so pros and cons to
Yeah.
going to semi-weekly.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, my dude, I will feel very accomplished once we're finished, but
Hmm.
also that part will be about 25%. The other 75% is just going to be absolute relief.
Yeah. Yeah. I, I would say 33% accomplished, 33% relief, 33% demoralized and drained.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's
So
don't here's the thing. I can almost recommend that you watch all of Tom Hanks's movies.
yeah.
Um I probably would not suggest that you watch all of Dwayne's movies. I would absolutely caution you against watching all of Keanu's.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
not do this
Ask your doctor before you start watching all of Keanu Reeves movies.
because your doctor will go, fuck no.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that we saw the light briefly because we watched a Tom Hanks movie
We did, yeah.
and it was fucking amazing.
So good. Do I remember what it was? Not actually, no.
Mazes and Monsters.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. We watched, let me be frank, a non Wes Anderson Tom Hanks movie,
Yes, yeah.
and it was great.
It was
Just
pretty
like
good.
a
It was
blast
pretty
from the
good.
past, great times. So,
But Luke, I let's dig in
yeah, let's dig
because
in.
we've got a big one here.
Yeah.
Uh, as we said, John Wick, colon, chapter 3, dash, Parabellum. That
Mm-hmm.
is the official title. An
Mm-hmm.
insane set of punctuation. Luke, how was your watch?
Pretty early, got up early this morning to watch, like starting at 6,
Hmm.
John Wick 3, or see, excuse me, John Wick colon chapter 3 dash Parabellum.
Hmm.
Did watch it on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray.
Hmm.
Booted up the Xbox to peep this flick. Nothing major to report, my dude. Just slammed it down. Uh, yeah, nothing huge. How was your watch?
My watch was on 420.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good 420 watch, and by that I mean I did no drugs.
Yeah,
I did go to I went to lunch with some friends. Had a lovely time. Shout out to
nice.
Sterling Market, never disappoints. Um, and then ran by the store, and then dropped off McKenna and the boy, and then I drove over to Mom L to pick something up from a coworker's house, and then I drove home, and then I pissed, and then I started the movie.
What's weird about this 420 watch for you
Hmm.
is that you usually chief blunts all day. So the fact that you
Yeah,
didn't on 420.
that was the way that I chose to honor 420s, that I consumed no jazz cigarettes all day.
Yeah, which is really unusual for you. And I
Hmm.
imagine, a watch without substances on board was quite unusual,
Oh
quite
yeah,
a quite a strange experience for you.
buck wild,
Yeah.
stone cold sober, like I never am. Um, I also want to give a quick HDMI update
Oh
because
yeah.
I've complained about this before. So I've been plagued by issues with my LG C2, and I don't know why I needed to say the whole brand. Um,
Life's good.
yep. And so I bought a new HDMI cord that I did a lot of research to make sure that like it's a good quality cord. So I replaced it. I swear to God, it looked better. And then for whatever reason, either the Xbox or the television said, I don't know what's happening here. And so it would, anytime I tried to watch something, it would constantly flick in and out of HDR. Um,
Hmm.
it, it just nonstop. It just click, 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 click. And so I got pissed off about that because it was unwatchable. So then I switched back to the old cord and I have not had an issue since.
Amazing.
Apparently, what I needed to do instead of purchasing a semi-expensive HDMI cord was to unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, the old classic. Those dudes are expensive.
They are expensive, especially when the plug is like gold plated
I
or
was gonna
whatever.
ask if you got the gold plated option.
I did get the gold plated option. So now I
Yeah.
have like a 6 foot, very nice HDMI 2.0 cable that have nothing to do to use.
Well, I'll say this. You are a father now.
Hmm.
It is your duty as a dad to have parts and cables
Yeah.
in quantities that are wholly unusable
Hmm.
just in case.
You've got a point. I also want to point out, I still have your like 500 feet of Ethernet cable,
Yeah.
and your wire cutter or
Yeah.
whatever, it was stripper, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Um, when we fruitlessly attempted to cut some of our own Ethernet cables.
Yeah, that was an adventure,
Hmm.
which is such a dad project. We should get back to that at
I
some point
probably
because
should, yeah.
I bought some parts to make that easier
And then we never did it.
and then we never did it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Luke, it is time for everyone's favorite game show within a podcast. It is time for Loan, Leave, or Love.
Nice. I'm glad you did it this week because I don't think I could
Yeah.
give it the full college try.
Oh, no, yeah. Of course, Loan, Leave, or Love is a game show in which, during my parental leave, I started 51 movies. Um, and I either watched them alone, or I dipped out of them, or I watched them with the love of my wife, the
Yeah.
love of my wife. Um, Now, Luke, we have hit what I would call sort of a seminal moment in Lone Leave or
Okay.
Love. I'm out of loan.
Oh,
So now I'm going to give you two movies that I
yeah.
watched with the love of my life and one that we dipped out on.
Okay. Which you'd think would make this easier, but I have a sneaking suspicion I'm still going to fail miserably.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Anything's possible.
Okay, so I have for you today The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Nice. Which is a prequel?
It is a prequel, yes.
Okay.
Um, Con Air
Oh,
and Return of the King,
wait, aren't you just giving me two?
two that we watched together and
Oh,
one
okay.
that we
I
dipped.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And Return of the King, the extended edition. Sorry,
Oh,
Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, extended edition.
extended edition.
Yes.
The old PJ cut, the Peter Jackson cut.
Hmm.
Okay, here's the problem. I know that you are a big old low tour guy.
Mm-hmm.
Famously, you love Gollum and Frodo and Samwise
Mm-hmm.
doing
I can
stuff.
even do a Gollum voice.
Oh, well, now you've said it, so now you
Yeah.
have to do
Yeah, no, that's fine. Precious. Hello, Luke.
Can you say in that voice, what was it you made me say? A big ass ham?
You're awesome.
It's a shame you don't work phone support for someone. Because if you got bored enough, you could just bust that guy out.
Oh, yeah. Hello, you have called Dell Computers. How can we unfuck your machine today?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's tasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the extended edition though of Return of the King, I want to say
Hmm.
is like 4 hours long.
I think so, yeah. It's lengthy.
I think that's a dip.
Okay.
I think that's a solid dip because in your day, in this day and age, in this economy,
Hmm.
4 hours is a long time to
It's a
commit to
long time.
anything.
That's a long
Um,
time.
so I think you dipped out of that one. Con Air is a pretty solid watch. So I think, this is weird because the game is now like if I identify the one you dipped out of, the other two are by default
Hmm.
movies that you watch. So I guess that's my answer.
Yeah. Um, so I wish I had had another loan because Con Air is the perfect trick for a loan watch.
Yeah.
Um, but Luke, this was a trick question, and you got it right
Oh,
because Luke, we did watch all of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King,
but you did it in
except
pieces.
no, no.
Oh.
Half of it was extended, half of it was not, and let me explain why. Um, we started watching Lord of the Rings: Return of the King extended edition on December 31st,
Oh
that
my.
night. And so we watched it and then we paused to like feed our son or sleep or something. And then we decided to boot it back up, I believe early in the morning on the first.
Yeah.
And Max, HBO Max, no longer had it.
Oh.
It was gone.
Hmm.
And so we were like, what the fuck? So we watched like normal TV or whatever. And then later in the day, I tried to find it again, and it was gone from the service, never to be seen again. Um, and then so we just finished it the normal edition,
Hmm.
which honestly probably was fine. The back half of that movie with the extended edition drags.
Yeah, it's a real slog, my dude.
Um, so I went to Reddit. And this was an issue that many people had because at the stroke of midnight, when it turned from 2023 to 2024, HBO Max said, no,
Hmm.
we don't have this one anymore. Now, like 2 days later, it was back on the service, and they claim it was just some sort of fucking error. I don't understand how an error of yours removes only Lord of the Rings: Return of the King extended edition, none of the other extended versions, and not normal Return of the King, but just the
Yeah,
extended edition.
that's amazing. What are they doing over there?
Nothing good.
Yeah.
Nothing good. I also want to say that spiritually, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was a dip, but we did finish it because we spent $20 to rent it. Um,
Holy shit.
it is a wretched movie. We hated it so fucking much, but we were like, we spent $20 to rent this, so we do have to watch all of it.
That's Space Jam money.
That is Space Jam: A New Legacy money.
Jesus. I mean, I would have finished it too
Yeah,
if I'd spent 20 fucking bucks on it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I think we only have one one more of these.
Hmm.
Two more of these.
Okay.
We got two more games.
Another month worth of the everybody's favorite game show,
Hmm.
within a podcast. Well, I'm glad I maybe this is the beginning of my winning streak.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
so. And then I'll just run you through the list of the rest of the movies that we
that would
watched.
be amazing. And then we can have you rank them.
Oh Christ. Okay.
Since this is a ranking podcast,
Hmm.
famously we've done stuff like ranking Pokemon by how fuckable they are.
Yeah, we did rank them by fuckability.
Yeah.
That's over on Patreon, patreon.com/HanksyPanksy. Luke, what's the plot of John Wick: Chapter 3 dash Parabellum?
Given my voice's condition, this is going to be a short one.
Hmm.
Everybody fighting everybody. In this
Yeah.
one,
Hmm.
John Wick famously in chapter 2 Reloaded or whatever it was
It
called.
doesn't have a subtitle.
Doesn't
We'll
have a
lay it out.
subtitle, huh? So John
Hmm.
Wick 3, they were like, needs a subtitle.
And I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the next one is just John Wick 4.
Yeah, I'm
The
pretty sure
naming
it is.
convention gets a little wacky.
Okay. John Wick famously in chapter 2 was excommunicado at the end of it,
Hmm.
meaning he was ousted from the assassins like guild, the
Hmm.
organization. So in this one, he's on the run
Yes.
and shenanigans happen, yada, yada, yada. He kills a lot of people to protect himself. There's a lot of plot stuff in this
Hmm.
one where we explore the world of assassins in great detail. Halle Berry's here.
Hmm.
John Wick
There's
goes into the desert to find the elder, in
hmm
quotes.
there's an adjudicator who
There's an
is
adjudicator.
investigating rule breaking.
Yeah, they're basically an insurance adjuster,
Hmm.
but for like assassinations gone wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh yeah. And anyway, culminating in of course a big fight in the Continental
Hmm.
in which Ian McShane, I'm blanking on his name. That's his
Yeah,
name,
Ian
right?
McShane.
Yeah. Okay. Winston makes a deal with John Wick whereby he will um seed they deconsecrate the Continental
Hmm.
in Winston and Lance Riddick and Keanu Reeves all have like a big shootout with the high table and they're successful and you think okay, everything's Gucci, they have the upper hand until Ian McShane makes a deal with the adjudicator to reconsecrate the Continental and then plugs John Wick a bunch. He falls off a roof, hits a railing, hits an awning, hits the ground.
Hmm.
And you think, well, shit, that's it. That's it for old John Wick.
Hmm.
Until Jason Mantzoukas comes along and scoops him up, takes him to Larry,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne, old Larry Fishburne,
Hmm.
and they hatch a scheme to get back at the high table and kind of go to war with them.
Yeah.
So
So it's
yeah,
Neo and Morpheus teaming back up.
Neo and Morpheus teaming up once again, but not against Colonel Sanders
Hmm.
and a bunch of robots, but this time against the high table.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Sam, what do you think of this movie?
So look, I want to give a quick background. When I first saw this movie, I was deep in unemployment. I've been
Mm,
unemployed about a year at that point,
yeah, I can
and
relate to that struggle.
yes, and I went to the theater alone and
Oh,
watched this movie. And just as it was then, as it was yesterday, this movie is a fucking romp.
yeah. It truly is. I will say this. What was my word? This movie is flying high. I'll
Yeah.
put it that because there are dips, and I want to talk about the dips
Hmm.
because for me there are valleys. But if we're making this a sine wave where
Hmm.
it's like really good and really bad,
Hmm.
it never gets to bad.
No, it
It's
just,
all above the x-axis.
yeah. And it's got really high peaks and just like pretty shallow dips, I
Pretty
would say.
shallow dips. Yeah. But
Um,
overall, god damn does this movie rip.
so I'm curious where the valleys are for you.
Yeah. I think for me, a lot of the valleys are the adjudicator stuff.
Like the lore heavy shit.
Yeah, it depends because some of the lore heavy stuff, like Halle Berry's character and like him ending up in the desert to go find a random guy that makes him cut off a finger,
Mm-hmm.
that works for me. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like when it's just the adjudicator, like eating sushi and like talking to
Mm-hmm.
a dude, I'm like, this is cool, but it isn't John Wick to the nines, to the degree that we
Right.
got in the first and second movie, which maybe is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
it was another nonstop action movie like the first and second one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think they're this is their like jazz album.
It's like the beginning of this movie is, I think, the best action that we
Yes.
have gotten up to this point. It is all-time fight scenes back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think if you keep up at that pace, you'll die.
Yeah. And also that's what I was gonna say about the peaks, because for me, the peaks are undoubtedly the action sequences.
Hmm.
And I
Oh,
think a
yeah,
big part of that is that they got away from gun fu in this
they
movie.
did. There's very little of it. And, like,
Yeah.
it, it's incredible because at one point, I think I wrote down, like, John Wick seems like he is more dangerous without a gun.
Yes. Like at the end, he fights two guys with a fucking belt,
Yeah,
which is a nice little piece of like Chekhov's gun. Because at one point, who was it that makes him take off his belt?
it was
Oh, the Romani, like
the Ruski Roma.
the Ruski Roma. Yeah, makes him take off his belt.
Hmm.
And you're like, damn, they know who John Wick is.
Yes, because they know him as his real fucking name, Jordani Jovanovic
Yeah,
from
Giordani is
Belarus.
powerful. Yeah, it's
Uh,
pretty good, man.
it's
I
pretty
don't,
good.
yeah, Giordani Wick.
Jordani
Uh,
Wick. Okay, I want to talk about the three fight scenes at the beginning of the movie
yeah,
because I think they are perfect.
yeah.
Um, and there's one in particular that I want to get to, but it's the first one. I will get to it last.
Okay,
We have the knife fight.
yes,
The knife fight is so good. It
yeah,
because it hits, it's like the fucking gold standard, the platonic ideal of a John Wick fight because it has some comedic moments,
mm-hmm.
um, in that they are in a room surrounded by knives, in cases, and they like have a moment where they've both been disarmed, and then they look behind them and see they have knives, smash it open, grab a knife,
Yeah,
and there's like some comedy there.
yeah,
You also have this like blisteringly paced, like knife throwing and stabbing and the perfect choreography.
yeah,
Um, fall, and to top it all off, the most violent shot in this movie, in which he slowly sticks a knife into a man's eyeball,
yeah,
close up.
yeah.
It's incredible.
It is, and I think it highlights something about this series, which is that at its core, John Wick never forgets that an action movie should be fun.
Yes.
Like everybody talks about how in Indiana Jones, the third one, maybe the first one, I forget. There's a scene where he's like fighting a bunch of dudes, and then this big guy comes along
Hmm.
and is like, okay, now he's gonna have to fight this big guy. But Harrison Ford had the flu,
Hmm.
and so he just ad libbed pulling out a gun and shooting the big guy, which
Hmm.
is hilarious.
Yes.
And like that's the kind of stuff that makes action movies fun. It's like if it's just nonstop grueling action that takes itself super seriously,
Hmm.
it's Dwayne looking at you. It's not fun.
No. And I love that these movies have like a sense of like comedic timing and like I there's a comedy in here.
Yeah.
To the point where I also think this is probably the funniest one.
Yeah.
Um, and like Kenna was kind of in and out during the movie, and like this got some big laughs from her.
Mm.
Um, and I also discovered that she likes John Wick.
Oh,
She doesn't love the hyperviolence.
yeah.
She did say at one point like it's too much guns, which I get. Um, but but she likes the world and the character and the comedy of it,
Yeah.
which
It's
was a shock
super
to me.
fun. Yeah. I mean, if you're inclined to like action movies at all,
Hmm.
John Wick is pretty peak, man.
Oh
And
yeah,
this one in particular, it's a romp. It's a
yeah.
really good romp.
So we've got the knife fight, which is spectacular,
Yeah.
incredibly choreographed, so much fun, and then we have the horse fight, where John Wick weaponizes a horse
Twice.
twice,
He
and it
kills the
is
guy with a horse once, and then about a minute later, he does it again.
and it's visceral, it's unexpected, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's also terrifying. Um, because horses could do that, I'm pretty sure. Don't
Oh
fuck with
yeah.
a horse, is what I
I'm
learned from this movie.
I'm pretty terrified of horses
Hmm.
to begin with. I mean, I've talked about it on the podcast. My biggest animal fear is apes.
Hmm.
They're too similar to us. We should kill all of them.
No, I can't co-sign that. I love a
Um,
gorilla and would like for it to rip my arms off and kill me with them.
yeah. Nope was quite the journey considering it has ape murder
Hmm.
in it. Great movie, definitely a good one. Horses though, they're way bigger than you would expect.
They're so big and they're all muscle.
They're all muscle and they have hooves that, as demonstrated by John Wick weaponizing a horse,
Hmm.
could
Will
kill you.
will ruin your skull.
Yeah. Ruin your skull, break your neck,
Hmm.
fuck you up big time.
Yes. So love that from this
Yeah.
movie. And I like to think that it's kind of a PSA too, of like be nice to horses and don't get too close to their butts.
Yeah. Don't get too close to their rumps.
Hmm.
Also, I loved that at no point were you worried that a horse was going to get it.
Never. In
No.
fact, like there's a scene when he first gets in there and someone has a gun and he's like wrestling the pistol away from the guy. And you can tell he's actually being very careful to keep the gun pointed away from the horses,
Yeah.
which,
Everybody involved in this fight is very much into animal rights
oh yeah, it,
and the proper care of animals.
I firmly believe John Wick is a card-carrying member of PETA.
I think he is
Hmm.
because they know if they accidentally take out a thoroughbred during this fight, John Wick is going to go. He's in like D&D terms. He's going to go into a rage state. He's going to
Yes.
become enraged.
Do you think actually the high table is just PETA?
That could well.
What if all the people that they're assassinating are people who have hurt Luke, what if
Mm-hmm.
they're all people who hurt animals?
That would make a
The
lot of
the
sense
movie kind of supports this.
because there are. I mean, okay, we talked about how there are. New York is 50% assassins.
It is 50% assassins.
And the only way you could get 50% of 9 million people to sign up to be assassins is like, we're going to really fuck up people who hurt animals.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I now genuinely believe that the high table is PETA.
Yeah, I think it is.
Um, God damn, yeah, because animals loom very large in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now I want to talk for about I think the most important fight in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the opening fight because Luke, this series looked at the all-time book fight in which Matt Damon kills a young Barack Obama with a book, um, and says, "We're coming at you. We're taking that
Yeah.
throne." And I want to know, is this a better book fight than when Matt Damon killed Barry-O?
This one's tough because the Barry-O fight has haunted this podcast,
Mhm,
especially during the Dwayne season, because it was like our ruler, or not
mhm.
rule. It was like the bar which all action sequences had to clear.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so that one in particular is a gold standard for us. I think it's close. I don't think it surpasses it because of one detail,
Okay.
which
Yes,
is that
please.
Matt Damon is beating the shit out of a young Barrio.
It is
And I
pretty good.
cannot emphasize enough, if you haven't seen the third Bourne movie,
Hmm.
this guy looks exactly like a young Barrio.
Yeah, he looks it's uncanny. To
Yeah.
be clear, I know that we have pivoted to being a Republican podcast now. We don't like the fact that it's Matt Damon killing a young Barrio because we don't like Barrio.
Yeah.
Obviously, we voted for McCain and then Romney, but we like it because it's a guy who looks just like a young Barrio being extraordinarily violent.
I think it's so believable, is the thing. Like, if
Yeah.
Barack Obama tomorrow wrote a book that was like my time in the CIA,
Hmm.
and we found out that he was in Tunisia
Hmm.
or wherever this was, and that he did fight Matt Damon, we'd all be like, "Yeah, dog,
Yeah.
we saw that one coming." Because the first time you see it, your gut reaction is not like, "Oh, this fight's going to be good." It's, dude, that's Barack Obama.
It's so wild. Now, Luke, I disagree with you.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it back. Here's my question for you,
Hmm.
because at the core of this, what you're asking is, does uh John Wick use a book to kill a guy better than Matt Damon uses a book to kill a guy?
Hmm.
I think he does.
I think I think the whole fight is better.
Yeah.
I think they came at the throne and they came correct.
Yeah.
Because this tops it on every front.
Yeah.
Um, it's in a library, so books are plentiful. He is fighting a giant man,
He's huge.
a gigantic man. Um, he gets hurt at one point, and the gigantic man shushes him.
Which is hilarious.
Hilarious, perfection. And then, and then the things that he does with that book, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck. They are hardcore. He like dislocates the man's jaw with a
Mm-hmm.
book and
Mm-hmm.
then snaps his neck with a book.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just writing down some stuff really
Hmm.
quick. Yeah, which it's a critical piece of information, is that in this book is stuff. John Wick, well, actually, is it the book that
I
he has
believe
hidden
it is
things
his
in?
is John Wick's special Heidi book.
So, in the same way that you might have at home cut out a book to hide drugs in,
Hmm.
he has instead
You know me
hidden.
so well.
Yeah, I know your steez.
Do you want to guess which book I hollowed out to keep all my dank cushion?
Hmm. Well, the obvious would be like an Aldous Huxley book or
Hmm.
something. I have no idea.
Well, I hauled it out into my favorite book of all time, and that, of course, is the King James Bible.
Okay, I was gonna joke that, but I thought that might be too far.
we're we're a Republican podcast now. I think we can call it the good book.
The
Is
good
weed
book.
called good?
Uh, it is now.
Okay.
Hey man, you would know. Famously, you're the one
Yeah.
in this podcast that loves drugs.
I'm a real weed hound.
Yeah, you're a real dope fiend.
Um,
Um, yeah, I think you may be right that they did come for the throne and they came correct.
yes, it is now the ultimate book fight
Yeah,
in the cinematic world.
yeah.
I'm curious if you have any other thoughts, but I also realized I forgot to mention something about my watch.
Okay. Yeah, let me think about things I want to talk about, but let's step back into your watch.
Yeah, so as we know, Wick Week, typically what I do is I go to a gun range. Um, I did not have time for that this time, and I also made the mistake of reading an article about the people who had to photograph the scene at Sandy Hook, and so now I have I don't want to touch a gun ever again.
Yeah, really
Um,
Republican of you to be
Very Republican of me.
very correctly afraid of weapons.
Yeah, yeah. So, at your brilliant suggestion, what I did was I booted up the old VR headset once again.
Mm,
I repurchased hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades because I,
amazing.
I had previously purchased it and then returned it because I didn't play it all that much. And I spent, I would say, probably 3 hours in the past week uh, shooting virtual guns and
Amazing.
murdering hot dogs. Um,
Amazing.
and it was a blast because you know what I did, Luke?
Hmm.
I did my absolute level best to recreate an approximation of um, John Wick's weapon loadout from the second movie when he assassinated that lady at the party towards the
Hmm.
beginning of the movie, and then he did the
Yeah.
fight scene in the tunnels.
Yes. Yeah. Really good sequence.
And so I cleared a virtual house full of angry, armed, and violent hot dogs
Hmm.
with some sort of AR-15 pattern rifle, um, a shotgun, and a semi-automatic pistol, and it
Amazing.
was so much fun.
And see, this is safe gun focused entertainment
This
right
is
here.
safe gun-focused entertainment. Did it make me a little dizzy? Yes. Did it hurt my back? Yeah. VR somehow ends up making my back hurt really bad.
Yeah.
But I gained a real appreciation for John Wick's ability to reload a weapon very quickly. Because when I was under fire and my weapon ran out of ammunition, you know what I did, Luke?
What's that?
Panicked. I just panicked. Um, on more than one occasion, I just tossed the weapon aside, grabbed a different weapon, only to find that one was also out of ammunition, tossed that, and then I would grab my sidearm, fire very inaccurately at the hot dog in question, and then I threw the pistol at it, leaving me with no weapons and also a still living hot dog trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Not a great mix.
Here's the thing about John Wick. Dude is unflappable.
Unflappable.
Yeah, it doesn't
Um,
matter the situation. I bet he has nerves like he doesn't have phone anxiety. Like if he
no.
has to call a plumber to organize a time to come take care of his house,
Hmm.
no anxiety. No millennial or Gen Z phone anxiety.
None whatsoever,
Yeah. This guy's got nerves of steel.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Just a real cool cucumber.
Yeah. Also, sorry, folks. I'm gonna put a 5 minute warning on this one. I think I got about 5 minutes of voice left.
Okay.
So we'll give you another we'll get to the 50-minute mark and
Okay.
then we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Because it's about to get real late night DJ up in
Ooh.
here. This next one is a Charlie Parker original from 1957. Um, yeah. So, what do I have to say about John Wick 3? John Wick Chapter 3 dash Parabellum.
Hmm.
I like what they did with the lore in this one.
Yes. They did
Like,
such a good job.
So Jackie said that she's read some things about how they've compared John Wick's lore to fairy tales, in
Oh.
that they give you things that you are to take at face value,
Mm-hmm.
and that they offer no explanation of it.
Yeah.
Like him going out into the desert until he passes out,
Mm-hmm.
at which point a bunch of people scoop him up and take him to this guy named the Elder.
Mm-hmm.
No explanation of why this guy lives in the desert, who he is, other than I guess he runs the high table.
Yeah. And none needed.
No, who needs that shit?
Yeah.
I think there's a real lesson there. And for one, if you're like writing a script, you don't need all that exposition. But
Mm,
two, in your day-to-day life, offer no explanation for stuff.
yeah.
Show up to
Commit.
work in a Speedo, give
Yeah.
no explanation.
Commit unspeakable acts of violence. Don't explain it.
Don't explain anything. Don't talk to the cops.
Yeah, don't. Also, just a quick legal note. Don't actually commit unspeakable acts of violence. Please don't do that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Take your cat to school.
take your cat to school in one of those little backpacks that has like a fishbowl on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, do
Don't
that.
don't explain it.
Don't explain shit.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
Eat
I
a
think
hot dog on the subway loudly.
with mustard that you yellow mustard that you pull out of your backpack
Hmm.
several times.
And this is important. As you're putting the mustard on, I need you to scream more. Um, and put like a lot of mustard on it. Like so much that what you're doing is ruining the hot dog and it's now
Yeah,
inedible.
yeah,
But I need you to just keep going more, more. Um, and then put it away and calmly eat your mustard with hot dog under it.
yeah. Make it a soup. Turn your hot dog into a mustard soup,
Hmm.
and
On the
then eat it
subway.
on the subway. Eat it very loudly
Hmm.
and make direct eye contact with not one but multiple people.
And never explain yourself.
Yeah, don't explain shit. The problem with that is if you're in New York, no one's gonna
No,
think,
that's
they're
true.
just gonna go
That's
back
true.
to reading their Anne Rice novel or
Yeah.
whatever it is they're doing. So
Maybe do it in church then.
do it in church. Now we are talking.
Because they'll stop the service and they'll
Yeah.
ask you questions. Don't
Mm-hmm.
answer them. Keep eating. In fact, uh, as long as they ask questions, keep pulling out more hot dogs.
Yeah. This feels like an I think you should leave bit.
It does. It is starting to feel that way. Um, but yeah, no, I love that they don't explain stuff like the lore, and they
Yeah.
don't like get too deep with it. It's just like this is the world.
I just can't get over this PETA thing that you've raised,
Mm-hmm.
because at one point Halle Berry has a dog. She's got two of them,
Mm-hmm.
and a specific breed of hunting dog. And this guy who's part of the high table that they go see, I can't remember his name. It's like Beretta or something.
Yeah, so
Shoots one of the dogs. Dog is fine.
dog is fine.
Dog is wearing a bulletproof vest. Everything's groovy. Um, but then they proceed to just kill everybody. And John Wick says it's probably the best line in the series so far, which is like, I thought we were gonna kill anybody. And she goes, he shot my dog. And John Wick goes, I get it.
He does get it.
But if they are PETA, what this guy has done is betray the core values of everything PETA stands
Mm-hmm.
for. Yeah. So I think it makes a ton of sense that they're secretly PETA.
I think so. In fact, our kind of main villain in this movie, played bewilderingly by the chairman of Iron Chef America, Mark DeCassos,
Mm-hmm.
um, which he does a great job. Um, but he has, I think, one of the funniest scenes in the movie where he is hanging out with John Wick in the Continental and is just fanboying out.
Yeah.
I mean, just gushing over getting to hang out with John Wick. And he says, I'm really more of a cat guy. And so
Yeah.
again, these are animal people.
These are
Okay.
animal people. Maybe this is like a militarized version of the ASPCA.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes.
Because PETA, well, I don't know. Are they all like vegetarians or vegans?
I don't know.
Because at the end of the last movie, dude's eating a steak
Dude's eating a steak and
when
he
John
gets
Wick
got.
plugs him. Maybe it's not that he like fucked up his life in his house and John Wick's getting revenge for that. Maybe it's just that he's eating a steak.
I don't know that we see a lot of people eating meat
Yeah.
in this movie and
Speaking
living.
of, John Wick hasn't eaten.
That was one of the things that I pointed out is let this guy take a fucking nap.
Can he take a nap or like just go to a Subway and
Something
get
like
a foot long or something?
he's got to be hungry. He's got to be tired.
Yeah, because the continuity on this movie, like they talk about it. They mentioned that in the last like week, John Wick had the dog thing, had the car thing, and now is doing this.
Yes. And
So
he's gotten
like,
stabbed like 3 times.
yeah,
It's just cut him some slack.
yeah. Let him take a dump.
Let him take a shit. Where's that scene where he's trying to squeeze one out while
Yeah,
this fucking giant's trying to kill him with a book or something?
yeah. When does John Wick? It's the old 24 problem.
Hmm.
When does he take a dump?
I'm so I've not seen John Wick 4.
Yeah, neither
And
have
so
I.
I'm expecting that there will be a toilet fight where he chokes someone with his own turd or something.
Yeah. Ooh, that's an image.
That is an image.
Yeah.
Or maybe strangle someone with toilet paper somehow.
Yeah.
He makes like a really thick rope out of toilet paper, chokes
Something
a
John
guy
Wick
out with it.
does every time he takes a shit, actually, just to be prepared.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but before he came out of retirement, when he was just married and living a like domestic life, he still did this, and they went through so much Charmin Ultra.
So much Charmin and also so many toilet clogs
Yeah,
because he has to get that rope braided really thick and the toilet just cannot handle it.
no, this
Um,
is why he was calling a plumber
exactly.
to come take care of his house.
Also, an important thing to note, folks, if you are having a lot of toilet clog problems, one thing that you can consider is if you choose to replace your toilet, get one where it is glazed all the way down the pipe.
Hmm.
Because oftentimes they'll only be glazed a little bit
Yeah.
down the pipe. You want one that's glazed pretty far down there. That'll really help things run a little
Ooh,
smoother.
that is some dad ass knowledge right there.
That is some dad knowledge. This is who I've become.
Yeah,
Um,
you are like this close to wearing polos and khaki shorts
don't put that on me.
with Crocs
Mm-mm,
and carrying
mm-mm.
around screwdrivers just in case.
I will not now. The screwdriver thing. We
Mm-hmm.
were tidying up a room the other day, and uh, Kenna did pick up a screwdriver that was just in our TV room. And she was like, does this go in your toolbox? And I was like, actually, I kind of like just having the screwdriver in here in
Mm-hmm.
case I need to assemble something in this room.
Hell yeah, you do.
So I think I have strategically placed screwdrivers throughout the house,
That's
which
just
is,
common sense, baby.
in thinking about it, it's probably also a baby safety issue, but he can't move right now.
Yeah, he's immobile.
On the dad front, actually, I just want to quickly say, Um, for part of this movie, I was watching it while my son was staring at me, and I was watching it over his shoulder while he was like smiling and laughing at me. And there is something genuinely wild about watching the end of this movie where John Wick is vaporizing people's heads with a shotgun while an innocent little boy is smiling at you. Uh, It was pretty wild, the juxtaposition of those two things.
I would fucking believe it.
And at one point he was like craning his neck to try to watch it, and I was like, "No, maybe not this one. I don't necessarily need you to see someone get their head blasted open."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't, and I think we've reached the end of my tether at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, hey, you gave us an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
for you, the fans, anything. I got an interview tomorrow in which
ooh,
I got to talk for an hour,
uh-oh.
and I'm putting that on the line for you folks.
Well, Luke, I've got some good news.
Yeah. Oh,
Next time,
oh, I think I
we're
know.
we're watching 2019's Always Be My Maybe.
Fuck yes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes. You
yes.
guys were worried we weren't going to watch this one. Hell no. We're on
Oh,
board.
we're watching it. We're
Mm-hmm.
watching it. Luke, do you feel good enough for a little bit of mail time?
Yes, of
Oh,
course. Oh,
okay.
I feel great. I just, this is an audio medium
Mm-hmm.
and I am slowly becoming Jabba the Hutt.
Well,
So,
let's close out on this then. This is an email from Kira with the subject line OnlyFans. And
oh,
Kira writes, "Hey guys, just heard the update. Glad to hear you guys aren't quitting the pod. And hey, the every other week episodes mean I might actually get to stay caught up. So bonus, smiley face emoji. Anyway, back to the reason for the email. I normally listen to the pod on headphones while out running to distract me from the fact I'm out running.
mm-hmm.
Laughing emoji. The other week when Sam was doing the OnlyFans, talking right into the mic was nearly the end of me, though. Trying to run and not die from laughing at the same time was quite the start to the day. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji. All that to say, thanks for the laughs, guys, and keep up the good work, Kira. Thank you so much, Kira, and I am sorry I nearly killed you on your run.
Mm-hmm. It was a good bit.
It was
And
good.
update on the OnlyFans house. It's still the only explanation that makes any amount of sense.
Yeah, I
So,
passed by yesterday when I was making my way to Maumelle. Um, there were like 3 cars there that I've
yeah,
never seen there before. People in there
different
fucking.
vehicles. Yeah,
And so I think what we should start doing is going over there and suggesting plots for porn that they should do.
amazing. Because porn
So
is so derivative these days.
it's
Everyone's stuck in laundry
so
equipment.
derivative. And so
Yeah.
I have a couple right off the bat that I think
Okay.
they could do.
Yeah.
Um, John Dick Chapter 3 Dash Pant Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, the third in the John Dick series. And then the other, Zero Dark Squirty.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like it.
that one's got more of like a BDSM vibe because Zero Dark 30 does feature a lot of CIA torture.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy. You can find us on Facebook at Hanksy Panksy Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Hanksy Panksy Pod. You can send us an email at hanksypanksypod@gmail.com. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/Hanksy Panksy. You chuck us enough money, you could be one of Hanks's heroes like Tuck and Daniel. And fellas, um, I won't make a horse kick your skull in.
Nice.
Yeah. Luke, do you have a final quote?
I do. And it is, I'm going to say it like an old timey prospector, but it was said by Larry Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, well, sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker.
Excellent. Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy Honor Among Reeves. We'll be back next time with 2019's Always Be My Maybe.